For most people, their finances aren't one big problem. It's 100 small ones. A retirement account from a job 5 years ago. A budget that lives in your head, but never on paper. Life insurance that you meant to look into. A will, half finished, or not even started. And the longer you leave those loose ends untied, the harder it becomes to move forward with peace of mind. At Dominion Wealth, we walk with you step by step to help you tie it all together. We meet you where you are. We listen. We get your financial picture out of your head and into practice. Then we build a strategy to meet your needs now, prepare for your future, and bless the next generation. We don't pressure you. We give biblical, honest guidance. Let the strategy follow your values and help find the right solutions. If your financial path feels uncertain, let's get together one-on-one and get you on the right track. Book a free consultation today. We are here to help you get your finances in order so you can feel confident about the future. From baptism to burial, Dominion's got you covered. You can find us at reform.money.
Non-rockabotus must stop. I don't want to rock the boat. I want to sink it.
Are you going to bark all day, little doggy, or are you going to bite?
You're being delusional. I love you, Jeff.
Delusional, yeah. Delusional's okay in your worldview. I'm an animal. You don't chastise chickens for being delusional. You don't chastise pigs for being delusional. So you calling me delusional using your worldview is perfectly okay. It doesn't really hurt. She hung up on me.
What?
Desperate times call for faithful men and not for careful men. The careful men come later and write the biographies of the faithful men, lauding them for their courage.
Go into all the world and make disciples. Not go into the world and make buddies. Not to make brosives.
Right.
Don't go into the world and make homies.
Right.
Disciples.
I got a bit of a jiggle neck. That's a joke, Pastor.
When we have the real message of truth, we cannot let somebody say they're speaking truth when they're not.
Take an amazing journey to a place that will blow your mind and move your heart so you will never be the same again.
You shall not hate your brother in your heart, but you shall reason frankly with your neighbor, lest you incur sin against him. You shall not take vengeance, nor bear a grudge against the sons of your own people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. And that, of course, is from Leviticus chapter 19. Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Apologia Radio. Luke the Bear hosting today.
Hang on. Bro, were you reading my mind? Because I literally had that passage opened in my Bible.
Apparently.
That's where my mind was. Great minds right there.
Apparently
Great
it was.
minds.
We didn't plan that.
Yeah, no.
It's
totally
a great
didn't
start.
plan
It's going to be a great show.
Perfect.
Maybe
Let's
we need
go.
to just have you in that seat from now on. Like, you're in the wrong seat today, but it's good things are
Nah,
happening.
you look good there.
Thanks, dude. I do have a special guest with us today, which I will now introduce because you all are like, who's this guy over here?
Who's the black guy? Where'd y'all get him from?
I wasn't going to say
You might know him. Might have seen him before. Might have heard his name.
Virgil Walker, what's up, bro?
My man, I'm glad to be here, man. Excited to be with you guys.
So good to have you in the studio in person, in the flesh.
Yeah. I'm tripping, man, because, like, you know, this is something I've watched from afar for a long time.
Right.
So to be here, man, and experience it in, real life, man, this is good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
First, I'm going to say that it may sound like we're in a freezer, but I don't feel like it. It's hot here in Arizona.
Yo, we are in the midst of the worst, I feel like, stretch.
I brought it,
It's hot, so we got the air going. I apologize if it sounds loud, but if we didn't have it on, we would just be melting here. So
yeah,
I'm already sweating anyways with the air on. So
here's to high electric bills.
Yep. That's yep. Yes.
I'll get used to it. Yeah.
You're about to experience that.
Yep.
So before we get into why you're here and who you are, we want to mention a couple of our sponsors. Of course, Ion Layer. We're super happy to be partnering with them. You can go to ionlayer.com, get your NAD patches, put Apology in the coupon code there, and get a sweet discount. And you saw our ad there at the beginning with Dominion Wealth. Super excited to be partnering with them as well. And we're going to have Josiah on some more. I know him and I have been planning some stuff. So super grateful for those guys. They're doing some good work. So check them out.
Their social media game is on point, too.
Yeah,
they're funny.
Josiah's on it.
Funny guys.
Yeah. So we'll come back to some of those sponsors later, just to get in this. So Virgil Walker, my guy. Glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here, man. I'm glad to hear you say my guy. I like that.
Yeah. Formerly of Omaha, Nebraska.
Yep.
Yeah.
Recently arrived from Atlanta, Georgia.
Yep.
Being involved with G3 Ministries
Yep.
and the conference
Yep.
circuit
Yep.
and all that good stuff there. But now he resides in the Valley of the Sun.
You're crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy. The journey has been a long one. But man, you guys have no idea how glad I am to be here, to be, I was about to say Georgia, to be here in Phoenix, Arizona, to be in Gilbert, working with the guys at Redeemer Bible Church, teaching pastor there. But then they're going to have me doing a whole lot of things. They've got so many things going on, everything from a seminary to teaching that they do, just a lot of great things. Oh, thanks, brother. That's what you need, man.
What's up,
On call right there.
Yeah, I like that, man.
That's why we got 5-gallon jugs of water everywhere.
Nice. But I mean, I like the service.
Yeah.
Service with a smile. I like that.
Yeah. It's a good smile, too. It's a good smile.
No, but they're doing so many things, and really are allowing me to kind of jump in, figure out the lane, and kind of move from there. So a lot of great things happening there. I'm learning even more and more as I'm there about what they're doing, the kind of discipleship activities they have going on, ministry for families, ministry for marrieds, all kinds of biblical counseling components. Plus, I get the benefit of being there with Mr. Darrell Harrison of the Just Thinking podcast.
You might have listened before.
You might have heard a little.
Yeah,
little
you
something,
might have
something.
heard.
Did you ever think that would be a possibility?
Not in a million years. Yeah, I mean, when I got here, truth be told, I mean, the Sunday that I got announced there at Redeemer, there was a part of it that was surreal. I'm like, how did I get here? And what in the world? And so it's just an odd experience, just all together, kind of thinking through it. But and again, most of the people know kind of what went down at G3 and all of the things that happened with Josh Bice and the like. And so I just kind of looked at. We were talking. I kind of looked at the writing on the wall and thought, you know what? I mean, this has been a fantastic ride. I'm grateful for the opportunity that they presented. I learned so much. And I thought it'd be time for me to take that knowledge and do something with it and see what else God had in store. Yeah. So glad to be here.
Awesome. We're glad to have you.
I would say also, too, if you don't follow Virgil on social media, then you're probably not privy to the fantastic writing resources that he's putting out. I would just heartily commend to you every resource. I mean, we're talking about daily content that will edify you and equip you as a Christian, and applying the scriptures to all these different areas facing church culture, the culture at large. Man, I can't say enough about that. Like, I look forward to it every day. And so anyone not following you, anyone not going after your work, get woke.
Yeah. Wake up. How about that?
Right. Don't go woke. I'm not encouraging you to follow that train. I'm saying open your eyes.
Wake up.
See
that
good
Absolutely.
content.
Yeah, well, we're going to hopefully benefit. We've seeing you around more.
Yeah.
With you.
Well, I had a good time with you guys at ReformCon.
Yeah.
And I was enjoying getting a chance to be invited to that, getting a chance to come into that. And if truth be told, you've been trying to get me there for years.
I have.
We would go back and forth on a phone call.
Better things to do, but.
I don't know about that. we had we text.
Who is it again?
I don't know about those guys. No, but we would go back and forth on a text and just kind of behind the scenes. But one of the things that I've appreciated about you and about Apologia, aside from all of the blessed content that you guys have produced, is just our behind the scenes friendship. Folks don't know, that you and I connect or talk or text or what have you, and there was never anything behind it. Like, I didn't want anything from you. You weren't necessarily wanting anything from me. It was just, hey, attaboy at whatever you were doing, or hey, great job at this or that. And I like keeping those relationships like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Behind the scenes, and until the opportunity presents to be on on the stage here with you guys. So yeah, that's what's up.
That is what's up. Well, I'm glad, man, and we're excited to see what God's gonna do.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've been huge with our work for End Abortion now in Georgia, and so now we're excited to have you help us here.
Excited to be here,
in
man.
Arizona. So it's a little bit different battle here than what you were facing there.
Yeah,
so.
no doubt. No doubt.
But so today I asked you, I was like, hey, let's get you on.
Yeah.
You literally just moved here. We've been here like not even a month. Right?
Not even a month. Yeah, a few weeks.
Man, just rolled in.
Yeah.
And let's get
You're like,
you
no,
on
bro,
here.
you got to come on out. Let's get it. So.
Oh, you're here now? Well, let's have you up.
Yeah.
Well, I see you're adjusting a little bit to the heat because you're totally underdressed.
Totally underdressed, bro. Total, like I'm out of uniform.
This is 2 times in 1 week I've seen you with no bow tie. It's
Right,
weird.
right.
I don't know how to take it.
An anomaly. Yeah. Right. Yeah. No doubt. It's been crazy. I've had to adjust to the heat. Thrown on a bow tie in 100. I think last weekend it was like 115, 117 degree heat.
Yeah, that's no bueno.
Less appealing,
bro. No. So I'm short sleeves. The crazy part is I had to actually go out and buy short sleeve shirts because I did my wardrobe doesn't have many of them, and so I'm always in a suit or in a sports coat or in a button down shirt or long sleeve or something. Even in Georgia.
Yeah.
So, but
that's saying something.
Yeah, that's saying something. I mean, I'm like, let's go. This is how we do it. So, but yeah, getting used to short sleeve shirts and kind of a more relaxed kind of approach in so many ways.
Yeah.
And so it's been good.
Yeah, I know. When I've been here 18 years, I think, and when we first came, it was like the church that we ended up where Pastor Jeff and I met. The pastor was wearing a Hawaiian shirt and shorts and flip flops, and we're like, because I'm from the Midwest, like the Chicago area. And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
But then I very quickly realized, oh, that's why. Yeah. So you get people that are complaining like, oh, these pastors weird.
Yes.
I'm like, dude, you ain't preached in Arizona.
Yes.
In the summer.
No. That's the crazy. I've had the same thing. I mean, someone saw that I was coming to Redeemer. Yeah. And they were like, oh, okay. And they kind of went on the site and they wanted to see what was going on. And so they sent me a message kind of behind the scenes. They were kind of upset that, that the pastor didn't have a button down with a tie and all of that. And I'm not angry at anybody. I mean, whatever floats your boat, I'm like, are you preaching truth, right? That's kind of my my MO. But at the end of the day, that people have their own personal ideas about what that looks like, and I didn't berate the guy or anything like that. But I'm just, I didn't know either, because like the guys were telling me, hey, bro, I mean, I love you, love the bow ties, but it's hot. So you might want to
get it.
Yeah, you might want to get you some shirts and da, da, da. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I like to dress up. I like to be polished. And so I got here, and first weekend I was like, oh, we're not doing this again. No, we're not doing this heat like that.
I get it.
No.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. I know there was I saw there's some haters out there. I don't know if you knew that. There was a clip from ReformCon when we did one of those group panel with Cross Politics, and someone I was wearing shorts and I wasn't wearing flip flops. I was wearing shoes.
Yeah.
But like, look at this guy. Not even. It's like, I wasn't a main speaker.
Right.
It was just in a panel. But it's hot, dude.
It's hot.
And you saw me. I was running around
like
getting stuff done. I ain't wearing jeans and
a
suit. Man, I got stuff to do.
No doubt. They work you like a Hebrew slave. So yeah. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I asked you. I was like, hey, what do you want to talk about? Let's talk about something fun and controversial.
Yeah.
And so
Black America.
You sent me several clips on the X with some Black America clips, and so one I was gonna first. Let's start off by asking you, like, when did they take your black card?
Bro, my black card's been revoked. Gosh, probably. I'd say here's the problem. I've never voted for a Democratic president ever since the time when I first started voting. And so I think pretty much that first election when I pulled the lever for, I want to say it was the first Bush, it got revoked. And I didn't get it. I don't know where it's at. I don't know who has it. Truth be told, you might have it in your hip pocket. I don't know.
I ain't got it.
Okay, well, somebody's got it, but mine's been revoked. They're not giving it back. And after all the things I've done over the course of the years, it's gone. So it is what it is.
And we laugh about it, but like what we're referring to is this tendency for a while now that if you have a certain skin color,
sure,
you will support a certain political party,
right,
or you will have partisanship toward this group of people,
right,
and adopt these identical views. And if you don't,
right,
you're not actually considered black.
Right, absolutely. Which is no other ethnic group does that. No other ethnic group says that if you vote a certain way, or if you think a certain way, or if you have an ideological position regarding abortion or social programs of any kind, that you aren't black unless you support this, or you aren't Asian, or you aren't whatever ethnic group. You're not one of us if you vote this way. Only blacks do that. And so I've just always rejected that. Like there was never a time when I bought into that. So
yeah.
Right.
Just an anomaly.
Man, there's so many directions to go with that. Maybe just as a jumping off point, unless you had something.
No, go ahead.
I'm thinking about this question and how much theology has to do with politics. Mm-hmm. Politics is theology, and it shapes and influences the kind of political views that we have. Mm-hmm. Right? The cross always goes above color.
Right.
The cross informs how we think through issues properly, mm-hmm. right? Are we going to lay all of these issues against the backdrop of God's word and scripture?
Right.
Or are we going to allow other pernicious anti-Christian ideologies mm-hmm. to inform or be the lens through which we view the politics?
Right.
And so as I'm thinking about this, maybe just as a jumping off point, how crucial is it to see the relationship between those two things, especially as you say, you've had your black card terminated or taken away from you.
Yes.
So theology and politics, and how if you have a deficient view of theology or an anti-scriptural one, you're going to end up somewhere else when it comes to how you apply those beliefs.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I think you're spot on. I think you explained it well. What ends up happening, I think, for far too many blacks is they begin to bow the knee at the altar of color. Right. So rather than the cross, they've said that color is the savior. Right. Mm-hmm. Color is what my ethnic origin is salvation. Sin is actually seen not as a problem for all of mankind, but as a problem for specific ethnic groups based upon the level of melanin they have or don't have. Right. And so when you have that kind of ideological framework, you only see color. You don't see the cross. The cross is extra, right? The cross is only beneficial if it helps me to advance the cause of color, right? That was Martin Luther King's issue, right? He didn't. Martin Luther King was not a Christian.
Oh, I wanted to ask you about King.
King was not a Christian. He did not believe in the bodily resurrection of Christ. He did not believe in the ethereal intent of the Word of God. He did not believe in the virgin birth. He didn't believe in original sin. There were so many beliefs that he had that were not orthodox beliefs at all.
Now I know why they took that card.
But see, because I said that, right? Yeah. But he used religion for the purpose of advancing his civil rights. And that's been the model that blacks have used moving forward from that point forward. And so that's and it's only gotten worse over time. It's not gotten better as conditions have gotten better, as policies have been advantageous for blacks, as money from the Great Society or even welfare programs or the like have been made available. None of those things are sufficient because at the end of the day, the vast majority of people who hold to these ideas bow their knee to color rather than the cross.
And I was going to ask you. I might be wrong on this, but isn't that kind of where you and Daryl started just thinking was kind of out of the woke movement?
Yeah. What's funny about that is that was not our plan. Daryl and I, we started the podcast and we're just talking about cultural issues. Daryl's just an incredible theologian, great biblical scholar. I mean, he does his thing. He gets it in. And my whole goal in connecting with him was simply to amplify his voice. I was more the preaching side. He would bring all the academic robustness, and then I would all that groundwork that he laid, I would preach over the top of it.
Yeah, it's very complimentary.
Yeah, and so that was kind of the formula. And when the whole woke thing hit, specifically, as it relates to issues in 2020.
George Floyd,
all the rest, BLM. Mm-hmm. Daryl didn't want to touch it. And the reason was because we had talked about these issues nonstop on our show. And so he was like, man, I don't want to fool with that. I'm good on that. Well, my phone is blowing up at that time. Like, you guys have got to talk about this. And so rather than, 30 hours of research that we put into every episode or more, we just opened up the mics and just went live and said, let's shoot from the hip. And of course that launched a whole that was the point at which just thinking went from something in reformed circles primarily to outside of that box.
Yeah, you got outside your ghetto quick.
We did.
Well, that was, I'll just be honest, that was, you got your content on that conversation was kind of my go-to. I was like, I didn't hear better from anyone else.
Yeah.
So
Praise God.
I appreciate
all of it was to point people back to Scripture at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You guys have done that.
Yeah.
And then some.
And I know you and I have talked to. I appreciate the stuff you did on abortion. I mean, Daryl, I got to get Daryl in here. We've chatted, we haven't made it happen. But Daryl's theology on abortion was. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, back in the day, I listened to that. I know you guys did a couple. You
we did.
There
was two. It was like they were like 3-hour episodes.
Yeah,
we did. It was good stuff.
We did.
Pack a lunch, bro.
Yeah. That's why I asked you when they came in. I was like, "How long is this?" You like about an hour. I'm like, "Bro, that's okay. We can scratch the surface. Y'all gonna have to have me back though."
Oh, well, that's not a problem. It just gives you an excuse to have you back.
Come back.
Maybe what we wanted to talk about today was like the state of Black America. And looking at these clips, we're gonna kind of see certain narratives espoused, and being that they come into collision with one another, how as Christians do we navigate that? But I guess, like, what do you see as far as the current state of Black culture, Black America, living now, 2025, where we are? Because I only know what I see on my social media feed. I see riot, I see conflict, I see white people getting beaten up in the street, I see violence amongst people within their own community, I see statistics, I see all this, and I see conflict. I don't see peace between communities and people of different skin colors. I do see maybe that there has been social progress since the time of historical events like slavery and Jim Crow, segregation, all the rest. But where would you pin where we are today with Black America, Black culture?
I hate ideas like Black America because there's only one America. We're not segregated. We all live in the same United States of America.
And there's one race.
And there's one human race made up of multiple ethnicities. And so we make that, Daryl and I for years now have made that argument. But I do understand what you're talking about in this way, in the same way that in 2020, when the whole George Floyd thing hit, Daryl and I were everywhere. And we were talking about this stuff ad infinitum. I mean, it was just nonstop. And for the first time in my life, I've been Black all my life. I know that's difficult to believe. for the first time in my life, I was sick and tired of talking about Blackness. I had never. I don't wake up thinking about, oh, I'm Black. That is not how I wake up during the day. But during 2020, it was nonstop. I mean, I had to think about it. I had to be prepared to answer questions about it. And I think what's happening now with the stuff that you're referencing is very similar in this way. People are experiencing what they would call Black fatigue. Like, I'm sick of seeing it. I'm sick of opening up my feed on social media and seeing somebody beat down. There was a couple in Cincinnati.
That's right.
That caught beat downs, and I saw all the clips of the guy, I guess, slapped the guy, but none of what he did was equivalent to the beat down he caught from all of those people. And what was more infuriating about that was to watch people who were separate and apart from that situation act as if or advocate for the behavior of those Black individuals. For some odd reason, in their mind, what they did was justified.
Exactly.
And I'm thinking, are you insane? Like, what has possessed you? What has possessed a human being to believe that another human being deserved something like that? And not to mention the woman who was knocked unconscious.
Right.
And when you see that in your feed over and over and over again, there comes a point where you understand things like white flight. You go, I get it. Like, my only thing is, don't forget your boy. Like, my Black card's been gone.
Honorary white guy.
Like holla at your boy, because I don't want to be around it.
Yeah, and we don't want to broad brush this whole thing anyways. Like, not everybody has the same views or is the
and
same.
I'm totally with you, but I'm almost at the point now where I'm sick of even providing the carve out caveats.
Right.
Like I mean when I'm over it.
Yeah.
Like look, if you're acting this way and you happen to be black, I'm gonna talk about you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like it, get over it or change.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, something has got to change. I don't think of myself first as a black man. You guys are my brothers.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
The only time I'm going to have an issue is if you treat me differently because of something, and then more times than not, it's going to be because I'm short or bald or something crazy like.
We already have enough bald people around here to make fun of, so I won't add you to that pile.
But I totally get it, and this movement that's out where white guys are now saying out loud the things that they've only thought about in secret.
Yeah.
Brother, I get it.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying those things. I've been saying those things.
They're fed up.
They're fed up.
They're fed up
Yes.
with the narratives. They're fed up with the...
They're tired of being called racist because they make a statement about individuals who are acting in a specific way. And I'm not angry at that. I'm not mad at that. I don't get offended by that. You're not talking about me. You're not talking about my family. But that's those are the kinds of things I think about. Anyway, long version to answer your question. I'll try to be more brief. I know we only got so much time. This is not a 3-hour episode.
No.
So
Let's go.
Would you say that I think Hollywood has felt that, and not just Hollywood, but just the culture in general, like the money that was there for a hot minute, has gone away.
Yeah. Well,
people are feeling that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's DEI programs
That's
that
what I
are
was
now
just
being
thinking.
DEI programs that are now being removed from companies and corporations, whether it's the backlash against BLM, the monies that were promised. Daryl and I, when we did an episode, I laid out in one episode all of the different companies and corporations that were lining the pockets of BLMers to the tunes of tens of millions of dollars over the course of years. And I thought that is kudos to them. That is the biggest shakedown ever. Like, those people dwarfed Reverend Jesse Jackson, and they dwarfed their efforts because companies and corporations. I mean, and unfortunately, you still have the NFL writing "End Racism." Please stop. Like, stop. Like, we want. I mean, the largest organization that has made the most black millionaires, right, is the NFL. Right. You can't go anywhere else and find more blacks in one space, in one place, making millions of dollars, playing a game that they love on a Sunday morning to adoring fans who could care less about their ethnic makeup. They just want them to play well, and they're gonna push a message in their face like "End Racism." Like, please stop with the virtue signal.
Yeah.
Same with the NBA.
Yes.
I have not. I grew up a Bulls fan, Jordan, all that. Like, I haven't been able to watch the NBA since.
You're not alone.
Since the woke. I mean, it hasn't. I would argue in the NFL. I'm a big football guy too. In the NFL, I think a lot of that's kind of died down now that they haven't stopped. But you're starting to see some of the other owners come on and say we're not doing this. We're not doing any LGBT stuff anymore. Yeah. But in the NBA, it's full force, and then it just kind of created these monsters like LeBron and guys like that. That's just like just shut up and play basketball. I don't want to hear you talk about.
Nope.
How you live in some mansion, you probably have armed guards, and you're talking about being in the ghetto.
You're being paid tens of millions of dollars to dunk a basketball.
Yeah.
Be good at that.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it moving.
I know you feel the same too, because we've talked about it. You're a basketball guy too.
No doubt, and I hear you. I think that one segment of the population, because that's how I look at it. I look out across the landscape and I see a divided nation.
Sure.
And I'm asking myself, well, what is it that divides us? What is the source of the conflict between our communities? And I think that you could point to several answers for that, but I don't just want to have a humanistic diagnosis of the problem.
I get it.
I don't want to say, sociology says it's this. Yeah. Or this philosophy says it's this, or this ideology says it's this. This is why we behave this way towards one another. I think, biblically speaking, what Jesus says about this matters most. Mark chapter 7. The problem is not what goes into a man. That's not what defiles him. It's what comes out of a man that defiles him. And what comes out? All the things that we're seeing now on our social media feeds. Hatred, bitterness, envy, slander, strife, all of the things that are heart problems, hatred for one another in our communities. Like, that's how the Bible simplifies it.
Yes.
Our baseline is that we just hate each other.
Yes.
And the only answer for that is Christ.
Absolutely.
And the gospel.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing that will lead to the kind of unity that we can share around this table, where there is neither Jew nor Greek.
Right. Right.
There is one new man in Christ Jesus,
Yes.
Ephesians chapter 2.
Amen.
Right? He has made a redeemed humanity as the new federal head, and we share in the glory of that precious unity because of what he's done at the cross.
Amen. Amen. I don't disagree with anything you said. That's all biblical. At the same time, I think it's imperative that you add to that. When you have a culture that celebrates, right, that promotes, that excuses the kind of behavior that we see, it's only magnified.
Okay.
And that's what you have. That's what you have in hip hop culture.
Right.
That's what you have. If you know, I when I was in school, I can tell you a story. When I was in school, I remember being maybe 7th, 8th grade, middle school. I was doing really well grades. I've always been really, as far as studying and testing and stuff like that, I can knock that out. Always did well in school. I remember there was this girl who moved into our area. I liked her. I thought she was real cute. I was trying to impress her. She was black and Puerto Rican. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna work right here.
I could get used to this.
I could get used to this. And we were in a predominantly white kind of area, neighborhood, that kind of thing. She had that mindset that to be black meant something specific about behavior, right? I didn't speak ghetto enough, right? I didn't have, my diction was, I enunciated words, right? You might not think that today, but but at the time that was the case. And so the other thing was there was a big celebration for those who had made the honor roll, right? And everyone got called out. I got called out, and we went to the celebration. Well, she saw that, and I of course wanted her approval. So I was like, yeah, I honor roll. I'm thinking, I got this. Well, I came back to the class after the quote-unquote celebration, and she had a disgusted look on her face, right? And the whole narrative is nothing. Most black kids who've dealt with this understand it, and that is, I was acting white because I was making good grades. I was acting white because I like to read. I was acting white because for whatever reason, but it was the opposite of what was positive for me as an individual, right? And so that's a part of quote unquote black culture, if you will. And when that's celebrated and amplified and promoted ad nauseum, you get what you see in your feed, because that's being down. That's being down for the cause. That's being black. And I'm telling you, not only are you sick of it, are white guys sick of it, those of us who are thinking individuals are sick of it. And you see that in some of the clips that I sent to you about this issue, about this subject.
Yeah, I have one I'm gonna play here. I was just double checking to make sure we could play this clip because it says Jubilee on it and they give us a hard time. So the guy said to go ahead and play it. Are you from Omaha? Did you grow up in Omaha? Or?
I did not. I grew up in upstate New York.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
And went to my parents would eventually move me to Oklahoma. And then from Oklahoma to Omaha, Nebraska, from Omaha, Nebraska to Douglasville, Georgia, to Phoenix.
I don't know if you heard, but there's not a lot of black Puerto Rican girls in Omaha.
No,
Nebraska,
there's not.
so
Right. Nah, bro. Look, once it gets to a certain level of cold, black folks are like, nah, I'm not doing that.
I'm out.
I'm out.
And you did a stint in the Army too, right?
Yes, Air Force.
Air Force.
The only branch of service.
Oh.
Yes, yeah.
Wings.
I'm not gonna.
You're not gonna get into that?
No, I'll leave that there. Okay, well, I'm gonna completely derail my train of thought. Did you have a question or no? Okay,
so many questions.
All right, well, I got this one clip.
Let's do it, and then
that I really wanted to get to.
Segue into it.
That was really good, and so you bring us into just the conversation. So it's this one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Bring us into that because you sent it.
This is Amanda Seals. She's an influencer, an actor. Really got out of acting because she wanted to express kind of more woke ideas and ideology.
She still seems like an actor to me.
She's acting for sure in this, but she got her hat handed to her, so to speak, with all of these young black conservatives who wanted to challenge her. And it's kind of the Jubilee model. You got one woke person against 15 conservatives or 20 conservatives, kind of Charlie Kirk style, and this was that. But she She got it handed to her time and time again with the facts. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay, so that brings in. This was my favorite. You sent a bunch, but just because we don't have 3 hours, I'll just do the one. And so there's going to be points. Either one you want me to stop, just tell me to stop, and we'll discuss it. There's several of those. So, Gabe, if you want to go ahead and pull that up, it's full screen there, and let's do this. Oh, hold on, it's really quiet.
Slavery
Sorry.
To pay
Let me try that again. My volume was way down. There we go. Try it again.
So why is that fair for people who never had slaves, who fought against slavery, to have to pay for people that had slaves?
One, from my understanding, you are more interested in preserving the fairness of those who didn't have slaves than the fairness of those who are the descendants of slaves.
Okay, stop right there.
That is priority.
This is a conversation about reparations.
Yeah.
Okay, and so the idea behind this is, okay, we need reparations. We deserve reparations, and the reparations should be paid to the descendants of slaves, right?
Yeah.
So that's the argument. The problem with this whole line of argumentation is we never go with people like this on the left love to talk about root causes. What's the root cause? What's the root cause? Well, let's go back to the root cause of slavery. The root cause of slavery is that Africans in Africa who look like me decided that they were going to round up their own people and that they were going to sell them to other people who didn't look like them so that they could benefit.
Hello.
And they benefited greatly. So if we want to talk about reparations, let's go all the way back to Africa and ask for the dollars and cents that they need to give to descendants of slaves in America. See, when we begin to have that conversation, things get real convoluted. Let's press forward to the United States. We fought a war. 350,000 individuals lost their lives in a war fighting against the issue of slavery. Now, you can say, well, they weren't fighting to end slavery. They were fighting for the whole purpose of maintaining the unity of the country. That's all well and good, but the ultimate outcome of that was that slaves were freed. Add to that the tens of trillions of dollars that were spent on welfare programs and set-aside programs and affirmative action. I could make a very real case that with blood, money, treasure, all of that, reparations have been paid to black people. Okay, now I've made that argument in a piece that I wrote, and the backlash I got was immense. And really, you ought to know I don't care about backlash.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this whole conversation about reparations, no thinking person really makes the arguments that she's making.
Would she argue? Just curious. Maybe you don't know this, but would she argue that all white people should be paying this reparations?
Absolutely, because they quote unquote benefited.
So every white person,
they
benefit from this system of oppression that still exists.
And if that's true, then it's not unique to just white people. Black people have benefited as well, but that's not up for conversation. That's a whole nother deal.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
This is great stuff.
I was about to stop it anyway, so let's just.
Then finding a fair way to accommodate those who have been the descendant of slaves.
Well, our ancestors wasn't asking for handouts. They were asking for equal opportunity, and we have equal opportunity in this country. We had a black president, just in case you didn't know. We had a black president, and we had a black vice president. I think she was black. They said she was black. I don't know.
That was an epic drop right there.
Yeah. I love that.
Because we know who he's talking about.
You want to talk about equal opportunity?
Equal opportunity. I mean, at the end of the day, what King and others were after was they used the language of equal opportunity, but that's not what they were after. They were after equitable outcomes. They wanted the outcome. They wanted outcomes. The whole point of affirmative action, of civil rights, is so that outcomes can be adjusted. Lyndon Baines Johnson and his whole war on poverty, that was not so that there would be equal opportunities. It was a financial investment for the outcome to be equivalent based upon what he saw as historic segregation, as the historic oppression that blacks suffered during that time frame.
Yeah.
And going back to this issue of theology informing our politics, it seems like there has been a view of government within that community that says the job of the government is to give that to people that have been oppressed.
Right.
So compassion, mercy, all this stuff, when the state, biblically speaking, primarily is an institute of public justice. So altogether, right off the bat, we have a different view biblically of what the government is supposed to be doing.
Correct.
And what God created them to do.
Absolutely. And that's a part of the problem when government becomes God, and the basis of the godness of government is what blacks are ascribing to that deity, right? You run into all kinds of problems. It's never enough. There's never enough to go around.
And I know we don't have 3 hours, but I'm gonna go here anyways. I mean, just a perfect place to talk about this. I would argue that the black community is still a slave to the government, and because of what you just talked about. So I want to hear your thoughts on that.
I'd argue the idea of black community is a myth. Like I wouldn't know where are they?
Although you would maintain that there are distinctive elements of the culture.
Absolutely.
Love of certain genres of music, like these foods, all that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's a cultural distinction. Absolutely. I would argue that there's a segment of black culture that are definitely slaves to government, right? Yeah. Slaves to whatever they can get beneficially from government organizations. Absolutely. And they see government as God, the one who bestows upon you rights and privileges, the one who sees you as human. Right, all of the idea, even while Martin Luther King was and the civil rights movement had a right message. Right, their message was "I am a man, so treat me as one." So it was formulated in the Imago Dei.
Yeah.
But they weren't. They were enacting redress with government. Government needs to recognize that I am a man, right? Rather than I'm a man. I'm the Imago Dei based upon what God has given, and therefore, if you don't like me, if you don't care about me, cool. I'm a grown man. I'm gonna go find out who does and go do what I need to do with them. Yeah. And keep it moving. Yeah. They were waiting for a government entity, for white people to affirm that, and that's not what you do.
Excellent. All right, let's keep going.
So we had a black president, and you know who voted for that black man? White people, because you can't win a popular election in this country without white people. So Barack Obama is the product of white people. So let's get off this thing where, America is so racist. What's making America so racist is people that continue to talk about racism and continue to focus on racism instead of focusing on unity and bringing our country forward. People that have this liberal mindset are infecting our communities.
Can we pause for just a second?
Just both stop.
Okay, so the issue of politics and how blacks overwhelmingly support the Democratic Party. Okay? I think even in the Christian community.
You know how that happened, right? It's a story that's unbelievable. The blacks up until JFK voted primarily Republican.
Okay.
And even Martin Luther King's father was a Republican. In fact, he opposed John F. Kennedy, opposed him at first. The reason for his opposition was that Kennedy was Catholic, and he just didn't think that a Catholic should be the president. King in the South was in Georgia, got pulled over, got put in jail, and he was about to do some hard time.
Was it legit time or because of the color of his skin?
Both.
Got it.
Both. I think there were, and I think as the story goes, there were some outstanding warrants. But again, you've got to consider the time frame. If he were driving through and you saw him, and you pulled him over, and you were a white officer, you're like, I'm gonna give you this, and you're not gonna pay. You see what I'm saying? So there was he was about to do some legit time. His wife at the time of this incarceration was 8 months pregnant. She calls Nixon, who was running for office at the time, Vice President Nixon. He was running for presidential election. Nixon did not want to get involved. Didn't want to be involved. He was like, "Please, I've got bigger fish to fry than dealing with King." Well, she makes a call to JFK, and when JFK gets the call, he says, "Hey, I've got a brother who can help you out and take care of that." And so They got him out of jail, got him home, and he was happy to do that. That one phone call.
Wow.
That one phone call switched the
I've never
trajectory.
heard that.
Yeah, switched the trajectory of. So what happened is right after that, King's father, who was incredibly influential in the South, particularly, he was King Senior. He had a massive pulpit there in Georgia. He begins to tell people there, "Hey, JFK is the reason my son's out of jail," and convinces the black people that they need to go all in on JFK. And so as a result of that, blacks in mass began to vote for JFK and put him in the office. And so for black people, JFK is their first black president. He's the first person that they put the vote count was so close that they were the deciding factor in JFK getting into office. And so it was because of that, from that point on in the 60s, that black people voted Democratic. The Democratic Party, the parties hated them. The parties in the South, the Democratic parties in the South, they hated black folks. They didn't want them in their conventions. They made them go into separate spaces and places. I mean, they hated them. But black folks stayed connected with the Democratic Party, and the rest is history.
Interesting.
And you see it today too, the constant pandering, even during this last election cycle. Like, I am the candidate.
Right.
If you don't vote for me, then
You ain't
you're
black.
not. You're not black.
You ain't black.
And I just
that stuff wore out on me a long time ago. So like I wouldn't. Okay.
I find it hard though. Like, there's a lot of Christians out there, and even some outside of my ghetto, so to speak, that I listen to, seem like solid believers in the Lord, love God's word, want to apply it, want to live faithfully, and yet they vote differently than I do.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to account for that
Yeah.
as a Christian, given that the stated goals of this platform are anti everything.
Yes.
We would hold dear.
Yes.
In terms of the family, in terms of marriage, in terms of life, in terms of children.
Yep. Gender.
All of those things.
Yep. Sexuality. Yep.
What's the off ramp here of why we are so divided?
Yeah, those people have bowed the knee. I'll say it again. Have bowed the knee to color, not the cross. I mean, I know that if I vote a certain way, going back home for the Thanksgiving dinner is going to be tough. That's gonna be a tough conversation, right? And I didn't care. I would go back with my T-shirt and be like, "Yo, I'm Republican." Or I think there was one Christmas holiday. I'd found an old kind of retro Reagan shirt. I put that on and went to the cookout. I'm like, look, if we're gonna have the conversation, let's just go all in, and get it started. So you just have to not care. You just have to. I mean, and you have to be willing to confront them and ask the question, just like you did. How this party has aligned itself with everything anti-biblical, anti-Christ, anti-humanity.
And I'm not even saying that my party hasn't drifted.
No.
Or abandoned some of its core principles.
But explain to me the policy that you believe is going to be beneficial to you as a believer in Christ, where that makes sense. Right?
Yeah, great point. All right, let's keep going.
Black people and making us victims and not victors. I refuse to embrace a victim mentality, because that's not what our grandparents and Harriet Tubman and those people fought for. They fought for equal
Do not bring up
opportunity.
Harriet Tubman's name in vain, baby. Please.
They said the
Harriet
Lord's
Tubman.
name. Hold on, just hold on.
Harriet Tubman.
Insufferable.
Harriet Tubman was literally saving her family and others from slavery.
Yeah. You know who helped her? White people.
You know who helped her?
They were on the Underground Railroad.
No.
Come on in.
No,
come on
you know
in.
who helped her?
Come on in.
No, you know who helped her?
God and Harriet.
People who benefit from white supremacy.
Okay. All right, Virgil.
First of all, I just want to say,
let me hear.
because we've adopted the use so liberally of the term literally,
Right.
our communication just seems so weak.
Yeah.
Like, it's not effective
It's
communication.
literally weak.
I've caught myself doing it, and I just think about how you sound right now, like that.
How you literally sound right now. Literally.
Oh man, I love the fact that he called her out for saying that he said Harriet Tubman's name in vain. Whew.
Man, I mean that's how the left thinks.
Yeah.
Right? Their icons are gods. And you'd better not say anything to negate that. Again, I go back to the first thing that I, as it pertains to this particular debate, no one is going to go back to Africa. No one's going to go to root causes back to Africa to figure out the tribes and the different ethnic breakdowns of people who benefited from slavery. they directly benefited in rounding people up and selling them off, and they get a free pass. I mean, that blows my mind. I mean, on a whole nother, like, anytime I hear someone talk about reparations, I'm like, okay, we're going back to Africa, right? Like, y'all are we taking it all the way back to Africa, because that's where the money, we need to find the money all the way back there. Let's go there. Yeah.
And it would strike me as very difficult too. Like, hopefully they would understand also, like, the institution of slavery in America and its abolition, owing to the Christian worldview.
Yes,
exactly.
BTW.
Yes.
That why or how could you see yourself wanting to be anywhere else where you have less liberty than you would under a Christian system that led to its abolition?
Ask her what predominantly black country she'd like to go back to. I mean, I bet she won't have an answer.
Yeah. Would you have more freedom? Would you have more rights?
There's
would you
no
have
way.
more liberties than you do here?
Nope.
That's a good question.
Nope.
And I'll tell you, I don't know if you know this about my family. Like, I always get super
I know about your family. I know. No, I'm just playing.
I've talked about it, so you might.
That was so convincing. I was nervous.
Like, wait a minute, what is he gonna say?
Like, my great grandparents were missionaries in Africa. My grandfather was born in Africa. My grandparents went back to the jungles of the Belgian Congo, were medical missionaries in the middle of the jungle in Africa to black people.
Yeah.
My mom was born in Africa. She's more African American than you are. Legitimately has dual citizenship.
Yep.
And and so, like, when I hear stuff like this, I'm like, you're telling me I got to pay you reparations when my family went and sacrificed. Like, they had to flee Africa, the Belgian Congo, during Civil War because they were going to get killed. So they were willing to give up their lives for black people. So don't tell me that I need to owe you money for something.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, keep moving on here.
One of the things
It's a lie. White supremacy is a lie.
No, sir,
It's
that's
a
simply
lie.
not
There's
true.
no such. I mean,
if that were not the case, then we wouldn't see the continued effort of colonialism and white people placing themselves in positions of power when they do not have the power.
Because their culture, black culture, is toxic.
Yes.
The black culture is toxic.
We
have
M&B
produced
right
a
there.
culture that is toxic. And let's get on the fact that there's no fathers in the black home.
Okay, can we pause it right there? This is what I wanted to ask you, probably more than anything, Virgil. Black culture is toxic. That was what was just said. Okay? And we would point back to the reason for that primarily. There are other factors, I'm sure, but primarily being broken homes.
Right.
No father, no dad, disintegration of the familial structure, eroding that foundation away, which leads to higher rates of incarceration, more propensity to join a gang, access to all these other services, schools, all the rest, all that. But my question is, why? Why is the culture of this particular community, when it's most likely owing to this at the center of the problem, why does it affect them so much? Why that culture? Is it just because of the media's influence, rap music? Is it because of the Democrat politicians? Like, how did it get like this, and why does it impact them so much?
I think a dear friend of mine, Chad Johnson, does a fantastic job in
Ocho Cinco?
No.
No, he was just on with Cross Politics talking about the MLK stuff.
Bro, I would highly recommend his work.
Okay.
Because what he's done is he's traced that historically. He's traced that narrative historically of how black families, one, were connected to a biblical worldview, right out of slavery. In fact, some of the best progress that blacks had made in every category, from economics to reading to education, you name it, took place actually right after slavery up until 1960. So you saw some of the best things happening. Why? Because blacks primarily were connected to a biblical worldview. There was a mom and dad in the home at 90%. They were having children as a family, and they were going to church, and they were listening to the gospel be preached. They were trying to inculcate their kids with the kind of values that you and I hold dear. All of those things were happening until right around 1960, when the Civil Rights Act pushes forward all these Marxist ideas. And you saw evidences, and he tracks it incredibly well in his movies.
So Virgil, you're saying the civil rights movement was a negative?
I would argue
that's anathema to most people.
I would argue it's the biggest negative impact on the black community that we've.
That's a statement right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, that's why you don't have that card.
That's okay.
That's okay. But I just don't think I grew up going to public school too. Like I went to private school, but public school. But you remember there's a portion of grade school where you get to where you celebrate civil rights.
Yep.
Right. There's a holiday.
And this is an AJ where it's like straight honky.
Come on. But civil rights. Like, how can you be against that?
Yeah.
And I think what you're referring to is because underneath that, there are pernicious ideologies that gave theological structure to them that weren't based on Christianity, only in name.
Right.
Only using the name of Christ to bring about the kind of change that they wanted to see. But meanwhile, you had what? Like liberation theology, kind of a Marxist critical race theory structure. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're spot on. I was trying to reference the book, Christopher Caldwell's book, Age of Entitlement. It's a fantastic book. I think I would commend it to your audience.
I'll check that out.
It's a must read. It really kind of lays out historically how we got to where we are as it pertains to issues like this. How do people become so entitled that they believe government is the solution for every problem that they have? As it relates to the civil rights movement and why I think that way about it is because what it intended to do went too far in doing. I think the civil rights was right to say, hey, Jim Crow laws are evil and wicked, and we should do away with those. Absolutely. But when it goes to telling a business owner, a private business owner, that he must serve someone based upon the color of their skin, that's wrong. Period. Point blank. If I'm a business owner and I make the stupid decision to serve only one ethnic group,
you'll suffer for it.
I will suffer for it. I'll suffer the consequences of that. I think about the battle that really kind of launched the whole civil rights movement, which was the Montgomery bus boycott.
Rosa Parks,
the Montgomery bus boycott. All that happened in that was right. What happened? The blacks left the buses. They became self-sufficient. They figured out ways to get to where they were going. They paid all of the economics that was going to the buses initially from black people. They were 60-70% of bus riders. They left the bus and went to paying each other for. It was the first black Uber. I mean, they were their own Uber system, and those economics. What they thought was what the civil rights movement, NAACP, and others thought was, this bus boycott will last a week, 2 weeks tops, last 13 months, right? Wow. And the whole process ends up going to the Supreme Court, and a decision gets made that it was illegal for the buses to. That was the proper methodology, right? Yeah. For our system and structure to say, hey, that's wrong. Legally, constitutionally, and so we're going to reverse that. And here's what now you, a government entity, the bus system was a state-run entity. This is what you will now do. Where it went too far was when it said you, the business owner, the private business owner, have to do what we say do, and as a result, you're going to have to serve black folks. So where civil rights went wrong was the idea of now. Having received this power, men like King and others said, we're going to do sit-ins at Sears and Roebuck's. We're going to do sit-ins at lunch counters. We're going to do because we need this power that the government has now given, and we need to move it into the private sector. Totally wrong. And that whole mindset informed blacks for how they must then go about getting freedom, reparations, any kind of thing that they wanted from government.
And I'll just say quickly, just for a second time, this whole like white colonialism, I think it's just so.
Those are buzzwords.
It's just played
out.
out.
Those are buzzwords. That
And I'm thinking, you mean like the people that came over here formed colonies because they wanted to worship God freely and established all these freedoms that you have today. Is that what you're talking about?
Right. And the colonialism that she enjoys every day.
Yeah, exactly.
That she's not running from to go back anywhere. So
she's sitting in Starbucks on her laptop with her latte and her headphones on.
Absolutely.
I mean, she can go back to the UK where apparently it's all Muslim now.
Yeah.
And they're about to put a burqa on her and not allow her to speak anymore. So.
And she's not even from here. She's Ghanaian or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's not. I mean, she's from an island somewhere.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
Let's talk about that.
Stop.
Let's talk about that.
Stop.
Let's talk about that.
None of this is gonna work if y'all are just gonna sit here and make up shit.
It's
not gonna work. No, a debate has to be in facts.
You're putting off emotional liberalism right now.
I am not putting off emotional liberalism. You're putting off unfounded lies
That's what y'all
based
do. Y'all
in
start saying
conservatism.
misinformation. Remember they did the misinformation thing all summer where everything
Look
conservatives
at this man.
did. They said
You're carrying a chain around your neck of an apartheid nation that actively
apartheid nation.
That one got me.
That she's gonna sit in and enjoy every day. That she's not running from to some other free African nation that she's gonna go back. It's ludicrous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Apartheid. That's funny. But I mean, he's spot on where he's just like, this is what you revert
That's
to.
what you do
when you don't have an answer. It's name calling.
She's Grenadian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Wants to harm black people and
What about the
non-Jewish
apartheid?
people.
What
But
about
let
when-
me bring it
what
back.
about when
Let
black
me bring
people
it
were
back.
selling black people
Let me
in
bring
Africa
it. That was not happening
and
in
put
the
them in
context that.
Yeah.
There's my argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, she won't touch that.
Yeah. And she
just has to outright deny.
You have to deny it happened.
She just said something that was just I caught it and I was like, I want to make sure I didn't miss this. She's accusing the conservative perspective of harming black people.
Right.
Let's talk about abortion.
Right, bro. Or not. Right.
Yeah.
Or not.
Do they want to touch that too?
They do not.
As soon as you start throwing out the statistics,
it's
13% of the population, but it accounts for a greater percentage of abortions.
Closer to 40% of abortions.
Incredible.
Right? It's unbelievable. I think about that whole argument. She does not want to touch with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
He did what I was gonna. I'd have done that at the outset. I'd have taken her back to Africa and said, "Look at what these folks have done, and where's your outrage? Where's your anger? Where's your upset for all of those things?"
Yeah.
I guess that's the question I'm getting at and asking is there seems to be an inclination among this people group to destroy themselves, and I'm wondering why that is.
Well, that's what an anti-God worldview will do.
Okay.
Right. That's what I mean. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've embraced the enemy's worldview, right, all you're going to do is destroy yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. Believing yourself to be connected to the truth the entire time. Right. That right there is why there's a need for the gospel.
Yeah.
That's why, because only God Himself can fix that. Like, and so what the challenge for guys like me is, how do I consistently share truth in love, not with the fake compassion that culture tries to put on us, but how can I share truth in a way that she can hear the message of the gospel in the hope that God Himself, by the power of the Spirit, through the proclamation of the gospel, will ransom her. That's at the end of the day the bottom line.
So people have to be saved.
Brother, that's the only thing that's going to change it.
People have to be saved. Men have to re-enter the home, lead and teach their families according to God's law.
Yep.
Deuteronomy 6. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. These commandments I give you are to be on your heart. You're to teach them diligently to your children.
Yep.
Loving God's law in the home, because I look at all the issues that are being brought up and it's like, bro, we have the manual right here. We have how God tells us to resolve these issues and to love our neighbor, which is what Jesus is quoting from. He's quoting from the verse you read at the beginning of the show, Leviticus, when he's saying, here is the second commandment, like unto the first one in degree of importance, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And then you go back to that chapter in Leviticus 19, and what do I have there? I have instruction on how to love my neighbor.
Right.
Specific context, depending on where I'm at, who I'm talking to. This is what God says loving your neighbor looks like.
Right.
Here's my law. And I love, by the way, that this is connected to God's very character. That's why that verse you read was perfect, because love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. And then the very next verse, which there's no chapter and verse divisions in Scripture, so we're just going to take it as a whole. You shall keep my statutes.
Right.
What is God's law? It is the revelation of His holy character. And that revelation tells us how to love and treat our neighbors, what it means to have justice in a community, what it means to have wholesome families intact that actually lead and equip and encourage them to honor God in every area of life. And wouldn't we be in a better place if we did that?
Yeah.
In the family, in the church, in civil society?
The beauty of that, Zach, is that what you just said has little or nothing to do with how much melanin I have or don't have in my skin. Right? That applies to me if I'm white, black, and anything in between. What you just said is the answer, the solution, the cure for all that ails humanity. Right? Not just black folks, not just white folks, but every one of us needs to obey the commands of the Lord. All of us do, and the help we need comes from the very Spirit of God.
You heard it here, folks. Virgil is a theonomist.
You can love God's law without using the T word.
And then Zach, he's gonna help a brother out. He's gonna.
He's the one that ensnared you, bro.
He didn't ensnare me. I knew what he was doing.
Well, we'll end here.
I'm just seeing it in the text. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's a great point. We'll end here because we're over an hour now, and I think the rest of that clip was mainly just yelling, anyways.
Yeah, it was. It devolved from there. Yeah.
But I was just sitting here thinking through that passage specifically, talking about loving your neighbor, not hating them, and you're saying, hey, look, a lot of this is people, bowing down to the color of your skin, right, and making that their idol.
Yep.
And so that right there is the root issue. That's the false worship, and then the outcome of that, the outpouring of that, is then hatred of neighbor.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Right. So then you got people bowing down to black skin, now hating white people.
Correct.
Because we don't have the same level of melanin.
Right.
And that's the outworking of that idol.
It is.
And the only thing that will eliminate ethnic animus, ethnic partiality, is the cross of Christ.
Absolutely.
Because that's where justice is,
right?
that's where atonement is, and that's where final payment was made.
Absolutely.
Amen. That was a good. You see how
it's quick.
Bam, just quick. Like that. That was perfect. So, man, I'm glad you're here. We're gonna do this some more.
Good.
You're gonna see Virgil's face a lot more on.
I'll be ready.
Some of our stuff, Lord willing.
Yep.
If I have anything to say about him.
You might.
I might. So, let me. Where can people go and check out wherever you want them to check out? You got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I've got my website now, Virgil Walker.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
VirgilWalkerMIN.com. VirgilWalkerMIN.com. I've got that. You can check me out on Substack, substack.virgilwalker.com. X, I'm on all the social media platforms, X, Facebook, IG. Just find me.
Just Thinking.
Just Thinking podcast at justthinking.me.
We're going to get some more of those now, not one like every 6 months.
Bro, just wait.
That probably means they'll be a little shorter, too.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
You guys were pumping them out solid for a while, and then all of a sudden they just I was like, hey, I need some more of this.
Yeah, the travel schedule is what would get us in our distance, because Daryl's got his own travel schedule. I've got my own travel schedule, and then we've got travel stuff that we were doing together, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So that will calm itself quite a bit, and we're planning on a recording, hopefully video soon. So yeah.
You're really going to break the internet then.
Yep. Hopefully. Time will tell.
Well, guys, you can go to shop.apologia studios and get some sweet swag and some of these awesome tracks, some pre-sip coffee, and
what is this up here, man?
So that's
that kind of scared her.
My battle axe. I got it. I got that out. I whipped it out of the case.
Like,
what
a way to
whoa, what are you about
to to a new stranger?
He's like, we chopping up wood. I'm like, bro, I hope I'm not the wood you're chopping. We just keep
we're chopping
don't want to fill that
chopping
edge.
up some hate trees.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of my favorite sponsors is Amtac Blades.
Oh, that's cool.
You can go to amtacblades.com and put Apology in the coupon code and get a sweet discount there, 5% off, and then he will also give 5% to End Abortion Now, which we're super thankful for.
That's great.
Bill Rapier, he was a former SEAL Dev Gear operator. He's a good friend, good brother of ours, and he makes some really amazing blades. So you can go check that out. Yeah. And Heritage Defense, if you homeschool, please sign up with Heritage. You know Bradley Pierce, right?
That's my dude.
It's my dude too.
He's all right.
You can go to Heritage Defense. I say this all the time, and I feel like people are tired of hearing me say it, but it's the truth. If you are homeschooling, please sign up. It's super affordable. you have protection from any 3-letter agency anytime you need. And so please, you can put Apologia coupon, go get your first month free. I'm just making sure I haven't missed anybody here. Oh yeah, and so Future of Christendom, that's coming up very quickly. Pastor Jeff's going to be the main speaker there. You can go to futureofchristendom.org, put Apologia in the coupon code, and get 10% off your conference registration, which is an awesome deal.
Nice.
That's in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, October 9th through the 11th. So, anything we got?
I don't think I could add to that, bro.
I just trying to think if I was missing anything.
No.
We haven't been together in a minute, so
I'm just honored to be with you guys,
yeah.
man. It's an honor to be with you, man. So
same.
Likewise, man.
Ion Layer.
I already said them at the beginning.
Okay.
Gabe was telling me to do Ion Layer, but I was already on that one. All right. Well, I think that's about all I got for today.
Thank you guys so much.
You gonna be able to stick around for after show?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll be able to do probably like a 20-minute-ish after show. So, sorry, now I'm way loud.
You didn't have to hit the gas like that, bro.
Sorry. It's hard when you're trying to coordinate everything.
Let that beat carry you into the after show.
So for all you all accessors who help us keep the lights on, thank you very much. You can stick around here in a few minutes. We'll take a quick little break and come back, and we'll have Virgil on again to chop it up a little bit more. Zach, Little Zezers.
Later.
Thanks for being on here, as always. And, of course, Virgil again.
Happy to be here.
Peace out.